I don't know. Are we really doing this? I think we are. 24-hour reading vlog. I've done one of these last year, I think, only one time in the past, and it was really fun. It went well. I didn't completely accomplish the 24 hours because I fell asleep. So this time we are gonna set ourselves up for success. So the plan is read for 24 hours straight, but if I'm going to the bathroom, if I'm eating, I'm not gonna pause my time because I need some sanity. And I also will not be pulling like an all-nighter because I need some sleep. I'm going to pause the timer right before I go to bed and then restart it tomorrow. So hopefully it's still 24 hours of me reading. So that is the plan. If I end up going out anywhere today, which I hope I don't, I will pause the timer as well. I don't think I'm gonna leave my house. Before I start the timer officially, I wanna show you guys kind of what's on the TBR. What am I gonna be reading today? So we have a couple options. We have our October TBR, which I'm actually super excited to get into some of these books. And honestly, I feel like for a 24-hour reading vlog, what I really am drawn to is shorter books. So that's potentially Harry Potter, and any of these potentially, maybe Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Who knows, I might be feeling adventurous and might start this book. We will see. Also did a bit of a fall book shop the other day and got a couple of new books. So those are these ones that are also up on the table for me potentially starting today. We have some great choices on here. The Handmaid's Tale, we have Fearful, the Powerless novella. So a couple of options there. And then of course, as always, the TBR cart. This right behind me is the TBR cart. So anything on here, also fair game, I will say. I think I'm gonna try to prioritize the October TBR and the fall TBR, like the books that I bought the other day. But if I'm just not feeling those, then I can pick up any of these as well. So we have tons of options. It's currently 9:37 a.m. So the goal was to start at 9:30. We're a couple of minutes behind. It's okay. I think now is a perfect time to maybe pick the first book that I'm gonna start and then officially start our timer. I think for sure I'm gonna pick one from here or from the October TBR. So many great options. Like I said, from this stack, I feel like I'm primarily being drawn to Harry Potter. Then we have this stack as well, which the shorter books on here are The Handmaid's Tale, Fearful, and then this horror book that I bought, The Return, which also seems really interesting. Shoot, I don't know what I want to pick. I know I just mentioned a couple of different books to you guys, but looking at this pile again, I think the one that I want to start is Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which would be kind of full circle because I think my last 24-hour readathon, I started with an Ali Hazelwood book. So I think this is the perfect vibe. Usually pretty fast reads, romances. This is a paranormal romance, which I've never read anything like that, I don't think. I'm gonna read this. I'm also listening to audiobooks. That's an option if I want to like do a different task, but still listen to a book. I have audiobooks on deck. I have my pajamas. We're gonna probably eat some breakfast soon. So let's get this started. Welcome to fall. Welcome to October officially. I'm so excited. First and last 24-hour readathon for the year. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. We're setting our timer and let's get started. Just press start. 24 hours of reading. That's what we have on deck today. Let's start Bride. Very excited for this book. Been 1 hour since the start of the 24-hour readathon and I'm still reading Bride. I'm on page 56, so not as far as I thought I would be, but so far I am actually really liking it. This is about Misery and Lo. Misery is a vampire, Lo is a werewolf, and they kind of have this like city treaty going on where they're like not gonna kill each other. And what I mean by not gonna kill each other, I mean like the vampires and werewolves. And so there comes about a marriage of convenience, and so that's kind of what we're getting into. They just got married. It's literally like the first chapter. Now we're kind of figuring out more of Misery's sort of backstory in her childhood. She doesn't have the greatest relationship with her dad, who's like the leader of the vampires, and Lo is actually the alpha of the werewolf like pack. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm just really enjoying getting to learn like how they make their little community work. And it's also kind of giving enemies to lovers. I'm assuming they're gonna end up together and in love by the end of the book, but so far right now there's like a lot of arguing going on and they're kind of standoffish towards each other, which makes sense. So still trying to get my bearings around, but I'm really liking it. 56 pages so far. It's been an hour, but I was like eating and doing some other things, so now I'm gonna just sit, lock in, and hopefully get a bigger chunk of this book read. I'm officially 52% into Bride. I'm on page 209 or 8, and we're about exactly this much of the way through the book, and very much have the same feelings I had. This is Allie Hazelwood at her best. It's so cute, but it's like still kind of a little spooky because we're trying to follow a mystery. Serena is Misery, our female main character's best friend who disappeared, and so she's kind of following that track. That's kind of where we're going with the plot, and then the romance is kind of like a side plot. But I like that because we're not just focusing on a romance and building that up, though it is slowly building. We're following this mysterious plot line of where is Serena, what happened to her, and inevitably our female main character Misery and Lo, our male main character, have to work together because they both have something that they can get out of finding Serena. So I'm very much enjoying it, love it. We're about 2 hours and 45 minutes into our reading challenge, so I feel like this is so far really good progress. So I'm just going to continue reading this, try to finish this. I don't know how much longer it's going to take me. I will probably be taking a couple breaks here and there because I am feeling myself getting a little sleepy, which is insane. But that just shows how much I'm really liking this book because I genuinely don't want to put it down. But I came into my bedroom now so we can kind of switch up the scenery and I can get cozy on the bed. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. I don't think I will. I'm gonna put some ambiance on the TV and then hopefully continue reading this, finish it, and then we'll just see where we go from there. But I think that's where I kind of want to go from here, is just continue reading this because I feel like I'm still very much enjoying it and I'm just going to capitalize on that as much as I can, and then we'll see where the future takes us. But for now, loving this. This is a good book. I know a lot of people have recommended me this book and said it's good, and I feel like all of Allie Hazelwood's books are good, but this one is just hitting a little bit different. I feel like the paranormal kind of aspect of it is just shaking things up and making it more unique, and it's keeping me super interested. So perfect for spooky time. Let's continue reading. Another update. As you guys saw, I had a little bit of like a lunch dinner situation, had some pizza. That was really good. Dove right back into Bride, and I just finished it literally like 2 seconds ago, and I actually loved this book. I think I'm sitting right now at like a 4-star rating, but I am gonna think about it a little more. I feel like I do know right off the bat that this is probably one of my favorite Allie Hazelwood books ever, which is so interesting to me because this book I actually put off for a couple of years. I think it came out either 2023 or 2022. Oh no, it says 2024, so last year. But I'm the type who will read every single Allie Hazelwood book like immediately, right when it comes out. I already read 2 of her books from this year, Deep End and Problematic Summer Romance, like literally the week of their release. And this one I just never picked up because a paranormal romance just did not seem like the type of book for me, but I loved it. I thought it was really well written. It didn't feel cheesy to me. If anything, it kind of felt more romantic than like other romances. So I'm very, very happy with this book. Loved the ending. I already know, because I'm pretty sure this is gonna have a sequel that's gonna come out this year, which I'm now very excited about. The way this book ended, perfect segue into the next book. Like, I am already very excited for the couple that is going to be featured in that book, and I'm sure the couple in this book are going to have a cameo in that book because Allie Hazelwood always does that. So shout out to one of my favorite authors. This book was amazing. I think for now I am gonna go back in my book room, grab another book, maybe start it, and probably shower and change into different pajamas. It's just that type of day. All right, this is the fun part. What book are we choosing next? I feel like I have two kind of off the top of my head that I do want to dive into right now. I think I know which one I want to read, and I think that is Fearful. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but the other novella in this series I actually read during my last 24-hour reading vlog, so I think this is perfect. We'll continue the tradition, and this one is nice and short, less than 200 pages, or right about 200 pages, so I think that's perfect. Perfect little palate cleanser, quick read, and then obviously we'll see if we have time to go into another one. Let me grab my phone so I know exactly how long into this readathon we're at. We are at 18 hours and 50 minutes left, so about 5 hours in, and that's pretty good. I will say we're more than halfway like into the day, but that is because I did pause the timer for about 50 minutes as I watched an episode of Love Island Games because I don't want to fall behind, so there is that. But now we're locking in all over again. We're gonna dive straight into this fantasy book. This is, I don't know if this is the end of this series, but this is the newest book in the series, and again, it's a novella, so it's pretty short, and I think it came out like last month. But this is the series that I'm talking about. Powerless is the first book, and I'm actually all caught up, obviously, so I'm excited for this. This is about Kit, I believe, who is one of my favorite characters in this series. I've been reading this. This is Fearful for about an hour maybe. Also switched into different jammies, took a shower, did a little bit of laundry, did some chores, and now we are going to switch things up a little bit. So have been reading this. I got to like page 100 actually, so I'm exactly halfway through the book. It's different than what I expected it to be. Basically, we're following this character named Mara, and she's Death. And so she's following one of our main characters from the series, and she's like having these run-ins with him while also following a different character. But this kind of takes place in the past because the last book, the last full book in the series, I already know what happens to these characters and where they end up. So it's interesting seeing like, I guess, what they were thinking and doing during these run-ins with this character Mara. I don't know. I'm feeling like iffy about it. I'm like reading it and kind of enjoying it in the moment, but I'm also like, I don't really know what the point is of the book. So I guess we'll see as we read more and inevitably hopefully end up finishing it because again, it is pretty short. But we're switching things up. We are going to listen to an audiobook now. This is the audiobook I'm in the middle of, Scythe and Sparrow. I'm actually like 50% exactly of the way through it. I do have the physical version as well, but I've been listening to it via audiobook, and it's been very interesting. And the only thing is I'm not going to talk too much about the book itself and my feelings because I am also reading this book for a different vlog. So there's that, but I wanted to just switch things up and not just read physically right now. So we're gonna keep the timer going in a second once I start the audiobook, since that is technically still reading. And in the meantime, we are going to color a little bit just to give my eyes a little bit of a break. That is the plan. Update of the night. Sorry about the lighting, but it's nighttime. It's actually 10 p.m. and we have 15 hours left in the challenge. I have been dedicating the last few hours to reading these two books. So this is the one that I was listening to via audiobook, and I haven't quite finished it yet. I am 74% of the way through this book, so this is one that I probably will still be listening to tomorrow. And then I did just finish Fearful by Lauren Roberts, and I feel like this book did a little bit of a 180 on me. I feel like when I first picked it up and talked to you guys, I was about 50% of the way through, and it wasn't giving me what I thought it needed to give. And now I feel like I would rate it about 3.25 stars. I did think it was cute and it surprised me. It had a bit of a heartfelt or heartwarming romance that I wasn't expecting. I liked the perspective, eventually I liked the perspective of death that we got, because it was just an interesting, like, unique thing to add. And I think Lauren Roberts' writing kind of stood out to me. I feel like in her series overall there's a lot of quotes that are beautiful, and this one had some as well, so that was enjoyable. Overall, I did enjoy it. I changed my mind. I feel like the first half wasn't doing it for me, second half redeemed it. So finished this second book done in this little 24-hour readathon. Now, like I mentioned, it is 10 p.m. so I am gonna pick another book to start. I'm not gonna finish it tonight, and I'll probably go to sleep soon. But the one that I'm thinking of picking up is this one, The Return. Bought this at Barnes the other day. It's a horror novel. This being a horror book, I think will be perfect to kind of end the night and then start tomorrow. It's another book that's pretty short, which I think is what I'm mostly going for in this 24-hour reading vlog. This is just about 300 pages. So again, something that is doable. Hopefully it'll keep my attention. This is, like I mentioned, one that I recently bought literally last week. And so I'm going to read it while it's still like pretty fresh in my mind. I think this is going to be fast paced and keep me up. I'm going to start it right now, and we'll probably read for about another hour. Not too sure, we'll see. We're hanging in there. I would say the challenge is going really well. I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. Like, it's not anything too crazy. Audiobooks, I think, are just saving my life too, because sometimes, like, the head, it gets a lot, right? Like, you just get fatigued, and I think switching from reading physical books to listening to an audiobook is like the perfect thing you can do in that situation. So let's go start The Return. Good morning, y'all. Gonna pause my timer real quick. We're down to 13 hours left, and last I spoke to you guys, I was picking up this book, The Return, and last night I read about 70 pages, and then this morning I've put some more time into this book, and honestly, I am so pleasantly surprised by it. I'm actually eating it up. It is so thrilling, super engaging. Essentially, the story is we're following our main character, Elise, and she's part of this like friend group. It's Molly, May, and Julie, but Julie goes missing for 2 years, and everyone else kind of believes that Julie has died, but Elise, our main character, never thinks that. She just feels like she's missing, like she feels it in her bones. Julie is kind of her soulmate, her best friend, so she just never loses hope, and then mysteriously Julie comes back. But she's different. Something's off about her. When they first see her, she actually looks like super skinny, super thin, yellow teeth, crooked teeth. Her lips are all dry. Her face and skin just don't look right. So they're a little kind of put off by that, and they decide to have like a girls trip to a hotel. So it's Molly, May, Elise, and Julie who go on this trip, and we're getting kind of the friendship dynamics that tend to happen when there's like an all-girl group. So that's pretty interesting. The hotel itself is kind of giving haunted, like it's kind of spooky. Elise herself, we don't even know, maybe she's an unreliable narrator, but she's like freaking out because she swears she sees things in her room, like shadows. Her bag was flipped upside down. There's like blood in the bathroom, like all these random things. And so it's giving spooky season. And at first, when I also picked it up, I thought it was going to be YA, because the first like page they're talking about what do you mean she's missing, about Julie, and they're talking about pizza, and it's just two girls talking, and I was like, oh no, like maybe this is going to be YA, which is not my favorite genre. But safe to say that's not what this is. These are like 30-year-old women. Some of them are in relationships. So this is an adult fiction horror book, and it's really, really good. I actually haven't been able to put it down, so I'm definitely going to be dedicating more time to this. I am a little bit busier today. I'm still gonna, I think, stay in my apartment all day, but I do have some things I need to do, like related to work. So when I'm doing that, I'm gonna try to be listening to the audiobook that I was listening to earlier, because I haven't finished it. I think I'm like 75% of the way through that. So that's the plan for when I'm like folding laundry or doing work stuff, trying to listen heavily to audiobooks. And then in all my other free time, I'm going to continue reading this. I'm actually 50% of the way through exactly, I think. This is like 300 pages, and I'm on page 150. So we're halfway through this book, and we're getting tidbits about our main character, Elise, that now I'm like, what's going on here? Like, you're giving me weird vibes. Like, she's definitely an adult woman who has made mistakes, and she talks about that barely, like she's barely opening up to the reader about it. And it's really interesting because it's not the kind of mistakes I would have assumed she would have made. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I'm actually really, really liking this book, and I'm really happy that it's like pleasantly surprising me. So we're going to continue to read this for a little bit, and then once it starts getting busy, switch to audiobooks. So that's kind of the rough plan for today. Let's go dedicate some more time to the return, since it's giving spooky season fall vibes. I'm genuinely a little too spooked to continue reading the book. I have maybe 50 pages left, and I'm putting it down for now because I'm like unsettled, like through and through. This book is doing what it was intended to do, because I'm like spooked, I'm frightened. I don't even want to read the next words on the page, because we're finally getting to the main plot twist of what the heck happened to Julie. And I don't think I want to know what happened to Julie. Like, I'm scared. This is a creepy book, and I think if you're looking for something that's unsettling, mysterious, chilling, and unput-downable, then pick this book up. I saw earlier, I was like looking into it, it was released in 2020, so it's not like super brand new, though. It's not like a this year release or even last year. It's a couple years old, but I'm surprised I've never even seen the cover or heard anything about it, because it's genuinely a really good horror book, so much so that I need to put it down and do something else. So we're gonna switch to maybe doing some laundry and listening to my little dark romance via audiobook, because I just don't want to read that right now. I need to like step away, and we'll come back to it. I'm so close to finishing it, but it's a journey. It is creepy. No. Right, it is a couple hours later, and I actually just finished Scythe and Sparrow via audiobook. Let me bring you guys down a bit more. So that's the third book I think that I've finished in this video, which is very satisfying. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about this one because unfortunately I am reading it for a different video. So I'll share my thoughts in that book, but that video, but just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish this while I was like working, did some vacuuming, was just chilling, folding laundry as you guys saw me. Now it's 2:15 p.m. and I'm gonna pick this up again. I think I'm just gonna finish it, see what the ending holds. I feel better now because I took a second away from it to like, you know, regroup, and now I'm ready to go back in. I know it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. I hope it's gonna be good. And again, 50 pages and then I'm done. So let's finish The Return. finished it. Right now, I feel like I'm still absorbing and processing everything that happened, so I'm not going to give it a rating yet. It was really good though. It was definitely not anything I ever expected. So again, I think it was the perfect book for the season, and I'm really happy that my little bookstore browse led me to this book. Now I'm tired. I'm getting tired, guys. We still have 8 hours and 43 minutes left of this challenge. This has taken longer than I thought it would. The last time I did this, I like read all day, but then I was gonna try to pull like an all-nighter and I fell asleep around 2 or 3 in the morning. And then once it was, I think I started it at like 9 a.m. So once it was 9 a.m. the next morning, I just ended the video. And this time, since I paused it before going to sleep, we still have those like extra 7 hours, if that makes sense. We're hanging in there. I mean, this is what, the 4th book I finished now, so it's all getting a little blurry in the head. I'm gonna probably take a little break for a minute, pause the timer, and then we will go pick out our next book. The options for what I could read next, we have a lot of options is what I'm trying to say. So these are the 2 that I picked out from my TBR cart that I would be interested in reading, but they're not the ones I'm gonna necessarily pick because I still have my October TBR and then the books that I bought when I went shopping the other day to kind of go through and debate. I feel like I would prefer like an easier read, if that makes sense, just because my brain is getting a little fried. But I've been repeatedly picking up like shorter books, so I don't know if to kind of switch up the length. I have about 8 hours left now in the challenge, so we're kind of debating. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed with choice, which is always what happens when you have a lot of books. But as shown earlier in this video, these are kind of the ones that I'm debating between. We have lots of fantasy in here, and then we have this that we could start, which I'm kind of tempted to just start it. We have The Four Winds, which I'm dying to read, but I also don't want to put that like in a pressure cooker type of situation. Like I don't want to read it to try to finish it, if you know what I mean. I definitely want to start this soon. I just don't know if this is the right time for that. Although I do feel like Kristen Hanna, I can eat her books up pretty quickly. Like even though in my head I want to kind of like make them last, they're so good that I finish them in like 2 days. I have just so much. Other shorter books would be like The Handmaid's Tale, maybe Harry Potter. I'm gonna sit here and think about these books for a minute. All right, I think I know what I'm gonna do, which is kind of wild for me, but I think we are gonna start 11/22/63. I think I just wanna start this. This is gonna take me probably a while to read anyway, is kind of what I'm assuming, but I think it'll just be nice to kind of get it started in this video. I definitely won't be finishing this, but maybe get some initial thoughts out there. And then if I find myself like bored or needing something else in the moment, I'll probably pick up this book. This is a nonfiction book about feminism. I started it about a month ago and read 50 pages. It's really not that long at all. It's like a lot of it is like citations and sources in the back. So it's not super long. It's like less than 250 pages. This is something that I might be picking up on and off, and then I think we're gonna finally start 11/22/63. Although I did start it last year, read 20 pages, do have my bookmark in here, but I'm just gonna restart it because it's been a year. This is what I'm going with. This is what I'm gonna be reading for the last, what, like 7-8 hours of this challenge. Wish me luck. So, funny story, y'all. It's a few hours later. I was actually in the middle of getting ready for bed and figured I would update you guys kind of on how my evening went. I ended up knocking out for a few hours, so I forgot to stop my timer. And right now we are at 3 hours and 38 minutes left, and it is already 9:30. And I do have work tomorrow, so I feel like it's not super realistic for me to commit to that for the rest of the night. I will say I did a lot better this time around than I did the first 24-hour reading vlog, so maybe third time's the charm. We might have to find out, but I did better, so that's kind of the saving grace. I did also start 11/22/63. I'm actually a little bit further along than I was the first time around, but I feel like I haven't really gained any more information than like the back of the book gave me. so far since I'm still so early on, so I don't really have too many thoughts. I will say though, I'm very interested in continuing the book. I feel like I know who the main characters are going to be, and I am very interested to see where the plot is going to take us. So I will be continuing this book for sure. But for now, I'm gonna switch between reading this for the rest of the night and actually watching The Haunting of Bly Manor. So good night. It's just gonna be a cozy night in for me.